Okay, so now we've looked at pre-processing. So you should understand now where the script is executed. It's executed on the server, but it's got to go routed through the server. Okay, so let's just remind ourselves of that. It's got to get routed through the server. So it's got to be the server route. There's the name of the server, and then it's got to get routed there, pre-processed. If it doesn't get routed through the router, the server, then it's just running off a file, and you will get something very strange. Okay, it's got to run through the server. I'm running easy PHP. Okay, so now what we want to look at in this short video is how form data are received by the PHP script. So what we mean by form data is when we have a form. Okay, so here's a example of some of a script with some with a form on it. Okay, so here I got a form. So there it says form, and then I've got two text boxes, and I've got a submit button. So there's my submit button, there's my second text box, there's my first text box, and here they are. Okay, so there's that text box, and there's the button. Okay, so the one thing I want you to notice here is that in the definitions I've not used an ID, I've used a name instead. When we're sending data to a PHP script, we have to use name, and that is to remember. That's almost like giving it a variable for when it gets sent. So I've got two variables being sent when I click on this submit button here. So if I click on that button, I've got two variables, and the two variables are these. So one is called name, and the other one is called email. Okay, so I've said name equals name, and I've said that name equals email. So when I click on the submit button, whatever's in these boxes here, these two boxes here, will get pushed, or it will get sent to the server, and they'll have these labels. So it'll have J Patel in name, so it's a variable called name, and it will contain J Patel. There's a variable called email, and it will contain j@greenhead.ac.uk. Okay, so that's the first thing to understand that's going on here. So when I click this button, where does it go? So the question is, where does it go? So here you'll see on the form action, we've now got this, we've got a script. It says welcome.php. So this will go to a file called welcome.php, and in effect these variables get sent to this file, and it will be picked up by that file. Okay, now how does it get picked up? So the way it gets picked up is by, this is my welcome.php here, and you'll see on here that we've got these two. These are the variables that have been sent. They've been posted. Okay, so I've got this, these are server variables, if you like, $_post, and then brackets, and then the name of the variable that we've sent, okay, and then close brackets, $_post, email, and those are the two. And what I'm doing, I'm just capturing those and putting them into PHP variables here. Okay, so I'll put them into $name, $email. So these are now what I've captured the data. Okay, so what's been sent, $_post will pick it up. Okay, so remember here, this is what's been sent, and I've got a method equals post. So there, method equals post. Now method equals post means that when you send the information, you don't see it in the URL. You can use get method, but that means you will see what's there in the URL. Okay, so I don't want them to see my name and my email, or that to be interrupted or intercepted in any way. So once I've got it, I can just use it. So here in this one, all I've done, I've grabbed the variables here, so grab them, there's my two variables, and now I'm using them to output. So I've got echo, which is the right line, and I'm saying welcome dot, which is the concatenation, and then $name. So it should say welcome Jay, your email address is, and then $email. Now I haven't put a line break in there, so that will just all be on one line. Okay, but I should have put a line break in there. So, but that's what we will get, what the user sees. Okay, so just to recap, when we send form data, we use a form. We have to give a name for each item of data that we send in. So we use the attribute name, not ID. ID is for the JavaScript. Name is for the PHP. So when we click the submit button, it will send the data to this welcome.php script. So you just need to make sure the pathing's correct and all of that, obviously, but that's what will get it, what will pick it up. And then once we've done that, in the file that we've sent it to, we can pick them up with this $_post. If it was you sent it with method equals get, it will be $_get. And $_post will then pick up the variables. The names have got to match, the cases have got to match, and then we can do that. Now we can perform all sorts of validation with this, which we would have to do, but obviously I'm not showing the validation here. Okay, and then we can use those variables as they are. So that's how we pick up the form data with the PHP script.